What's up? It's Stacey Storino. Welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for entrepreneur moms who want to have a successful digital presence in 2020. In today's video, I'm kicking off my Quarantine Reboot series, which is meant to help you make the most of quarantine, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. So even if you're not an entrepreneur mom, don't worry. This series is for you. And if you know of anyone who is perhaps needing something like this right now, please share this video and offer to do the quarantine reboot with them so that they're not feeling alone. And both of you can cheer each other on as you're making the best of an admittedly bad situation. We're gonna get through this together. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to get real world help that entrepreneur moms and people like you need to succeed with your business's presence online today. In this specific video, I'm gonna set up my Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp experience so that you'll understand what you'll have to look forward to over the next few weeks' time as we work through everything together. Today is day 1 where we're setting up shop, okay? This video is gonna be longer than the others just because I'm setting up shop with you. So keep that in mind. If you missed any of my other videos, here's a great playlist that you can watch if you're waiting for more Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp to come out in the meantime. Because if you're either an entrepreneur or you want to be, this will help you reboot yourself as a business owner and your business itself all over the course of 31 days. So you'll want to check that series out in the meantime. But here, we're talking about setting up this bootcamp experience, Quarantine Reboot. I'd love for you to pick an accountability partner. In the Army, they'd be called battle buddies. They're going to train with you. Perhaps they're sheltering in place with you, or perhaps you're going to be partners throughout this program in a way that's separate but together in spirit. Either way will work, okay? So reach out to someone and enlist them to join this free, no pitch, no affiliate link, nothing but freebie goodness experience with you. Now, things are really kind of scary right now, but it's important that you do this program to help you get through it mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. If you're not a spiritual person, no worries. We can focus on keeping ourselves together ethically if, we're not spiritual or religious, okay? So I'm looking to run this series up to about 8 weeks long, with the Bootcamp Reboot experience being split up into focuses that run approximately 2 weeks at a time. That's good news. No segment should last long enough for you to get bored. During each of those phases, you'll be revamping your entire life if you wish, all in a way that's fast, efficient, and capable of being done while in quarantine. It's my hope that by the time the Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp experience is over, that you'll not only have spent your time in quarantine in the most positive and productive way possible, but you'll look at your old way of life and wonder how you could have ever lived that way before. As you're out of quarantine and getting back into the regular life, you'll be ready to move onward and upward in the best way possible. Now, let me tell you why, in some ways, this bootcamp experience is going to be more like military bootcamp, and why that's a good thing. When you look at, let's say, the United States Army as an example, when they run a boot camp, that is a boot camp, not some 1-hour workout at a fancy gym, all right? A true boot camp is something that demands weeks of participation in acts that defy all logic, perhaps, and go against the pre-programmed human instinct. It involves a certain thought process and lifestyle that is part of every moment that you live, every single day, from initial processing when one arrives at Army boot camp up until graduation. It's extreme, but given what's going on in the world right now, something like a boot camp like this is hardly unthinkable, right? Think about it. You've very likely read a ton of books, listened to audiobooks, done classes to improve your life, gone to lectures, walked on fire for some goofy life coach after forking over thousands of dollars. And let me ask you, has your life changed? Maybe, maybe not. Did the change last? Maybe, maybe not. So if you're looking for something that's going to challenge you on every level to become a better and stronger version of yourself, then guess what? The Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp experience is it, and it's free. Make sure that you get that battle buddy to do it with you. You'll learn why this is so critical as you move through this experience. In the military, boot camp training tactics are very important. It's not so much about the skills soldiers acquire while there as it is the transformation that occurs when the candidates are physically and psychologically run through one of the most potent tools in today's military machine, and that is the boot camp itself. The truth is, there will always be a need for people who are willing and able to run into imminent danger and perhaps possibly death in order to provide a nation with its security. Think about it. How on earth do you take someone whose inborn hardwiring says to run away from danger and then teach them to face it head on? While we're at it, let's have a quick moment of silence for all of those worldwide who are in the armed forces, emergency services personnel, and medical personnel who are working so hard to serve, save, and protect the human race. So how do you transform civilians into warriors? The answer is you place within them a sense that they are expected to do far more important things than other civilians who may otherwise be content to live their messy, same old lives. So let me tell you, you're still here, alive, watching this video right now for a reason. God, the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, did not take you yet. You still have a purpose for your life. You may know what that is right now. You may not. Hopefully, as this Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp experience unfolds, if you need to find your why or reason for living, you will. If you weren't 100% satisfied with your life the way it was before the global pandemic hit, doesn't that frustrate you? And then came quarantine and or you're laying low out of an abundance of caution. Don't blame you. So now what, right? Now this, my friend. The time is now. Stop playing small in your life. The gift in the garbage here is that instead of oversaturating yourself with the news all day long or sitting around feeling helpless, hopeless, and out of control, instead you can focus every day on completing the tasks that the Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp experience will invite you to participate in. Understand that in order to achieve the unique greatness that you are meant to experience, you must kind of burn and melt away that yucky old version of yourself in a crucible of change. What's left behind will be a stronger, gutsier person that'll actually fulfill the purpose of their life. Isn't that what you really want for yourself? So let me give you the overview of this program. The Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp experience is a form of combined physical and psychological training that'll help to forge the new you. Each of the 4 main phases of the Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp experience lasts approximately 2 weeks apiece. Your life is something that has to be examined. Some parts of it, or even maybe all of it, may have to be taken apart, reassessed and reassembled and put back together. And look, that's not going to happen in an hour or in a single week, okay? But it doesn't have to take forever either. That's the good news. Here's a quick explanation of each phase and what you'll get out of it. Reception Battalion is phase 1. Why am I calling it that? You see, the first week or so of military experience is often called Reception Battalion, and it's often referred to as purgatory. That may or may not speak to you given what's going on in the world right now, right? With Reception Battalion, there's a lot of paperwork to process, shots to get, and other preparatory work to do before diving headlong into hell, which is the actual boot camp experience where you burn in a crucible of change. But that's in the real life military. What happens to you? During this week-long phase, you'll be dumping out the trash of your life and organizing what's left over. Now, you might say, well, Stacey, I've done this already. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, especially to the degree we are going to discuss over the course of the Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp experience. You'll be doing a lot of processing of paperwork or electronic forms. You'll be checking in with a variety of sources. Now, if you can do it, or ASAP once you can. And you'll otherwise be setting yourself up for the next episode of life that happens after you're out of quarantine and or the global pandemic is over. In some ways, you'll be very like those who enter into the military, but at the very end of this phase, you will not be a cluttered, confused mess, and you'll be ready to move ahead with the rest of the Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp experience. Phase 2 is called the Red Phase or Patriot Phase. This phase is all about total control. In the Army, for example, this represents a time where you do what you're told to do when you're told to do it. There are initial physical training or PT and drills. Just when you think it can't get tougher in the Army, they give you a visit to the gas chamber in the latter portion of this phase. And you know what? A lot of what we're going to do together will mimic quite a bit of all of this. You'll see. Phase 3 is called White Phase or Gunfighter Phase. In the Army, there's lots of gun and weapons training. Here, the Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp experience, it'll be a little different, shall we say. But during this period, you're going to learn a lot about increasing your self-esteem and protecting yourself, both mentally and physically. You'll find out how to engage in the best forms of psychological self-defense to get past those head games that will be played on you by the mean folk in your life. You're really gonna have fun during this phase, even without having to throw an actual grenade around, okay? Then there's phase 4, the Blue Phase or Warrior Phase. At this point in the Army boot camp training, everything the soldiers have been learning in the weeks leading up to Warrior Phase will start coming together. There will be tests, special tactical field exercises, camping, and all sorts of other unique challenges. But at this point, the men and women in green are also getting the 30,000-foot view of the entire program and its purposes. At this point in the Quarantine Reboot Bootcamp experience, you'll be seeing everything come together nicely too. You'll have the 30,000-foot view that you need as well. You'll have gotten your life together mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. And you will have come so far, and odds are you'll be pushing the boundaries of your life to test yourself and see that win or lose, you're stronger than you thought you ever were. And really, if you're stuck with the program, if you've stuck with it for this long, failing the tests you put yourself through from here on out should be a rare thing. Phase 5 in the Army is actually called Exodus. Now, typically in the Army, when year's end draws near, the Army traditionally shuts down for approximately 10 days' time so that staff members can spend the holidays with their families. Just in case you didn't know, the word Exodus is defined as a situation in which many people leave a place at the same time. Now, who knows when the pandemic will be over, when exactly we'll be let out of quarantine, and so forth. At the time I'm filming this, I don't know, and likely neither do you. But the day will come when we're all allowed to leave and go about our lives. You'll see, and there's spoiling and celebration to be had once we, as a community, reach this phase together too. And then there's what's called the final event. The Marines call this the Crucible, and the Army can refer to it as Victory Forge. Anyone would call this sort of event a trial of toughness. It's a final exam of sorts. If you finish this program, this should be the most positive thing you've ever done in your life. What I want you to come away from this video with is that we're gonna get ready to rumble, my rebooter. You're alive and watching this. God or the universe meant for you to make it this far because there's something you're meant to do and you haven't done it yet. You need to believe it. And by the time you get to the end of the quarantine reboot bootcamp experience, you'll be ready to achieve it. As Zig Ziglar once said, keep your head up. God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. Now you're officially one of them. Now make sure you hit that notification bell because in the next video of this series, which will be much shorter, I'll share with you what you need, which is a backbone to get through this. I'll show you how to evolve a better, stronger backbone as a human being. If you've been walked on, mistreated, or just find it difficult to assert yourself, you're gonna be glad to watch that video. You don't want to miss that video. While you're waiting for the next video in this series, I want you to know I have a ton of resources available on this channel if you're an entrepreneur mom, entrepreneur parent, or you're an entrepreneur and or you want to be. So please check these 2 videos out in the meantime. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you and I'll see you in the next one.